It'll stick with the Lady Lions.
It looked like she got away with a double dribble around the top of the key on the left wing, but when she gets past her primary defender, or even gets any bit of space, she's looking to shoot it. But right now, it's been a frustrating start. 0 for 5 from the field. She's kind of hunting out those first points rather than letting the game come to her.
Calling for the ball now on the freshman Caffey. There it is again, another forced shot.
Something I'm noticing as well is McMiller's looks like she's got chalk on her hands. She didn't to start, so I don't know if she didn't have a good enough feel of the basketball. Had it on that possession, then airballed there. So it's just been a rough overall start for McMiller, trying to find any way to get herself going.
0 of 6 for McMiller, who averages 22.3 points per game. She's averaging 34.3 over the last 6. Another miss from downtown for Indiana. Here comes Cleon for the Lady Lions. Driving baseline and throws it away. Chesky with numbers. Finds Beaumont on the cut.
When it's 3-on-2 and you've got a playmaker like Shea Chesky, you might as well mark the points on the scoreboard to begin with.
Another deep post entry for Merkel on the long pass, and that just is not working. Indiana has sniffed out everything Penn State's tried to throw at them.
That is the 10th turnover for Penn State, and even with Merkel doing her work early in transition, Noyan's doing a good job of putting herself into a situation, but give a lot of credit to Nevaeh Caffey, who gets a nice ovation. Her on-ball defense on McMiller has been a big reason we've seen the turnover numbers jump for the Lady Lions.
The press gave Noyan a little trouble, but she's able to outlet to Kiyaku, who draws the foul.
She got downhill, and then you can kind of initiate contact as a ball handler because your defender has to beat you to the spot. Kiyaku, heads-up job, realized she had her right shoulder past Cleon and draws the contact as well.
Journey Kiyaku is a transfer from Duquesne, her first year at Indiana. And Terry Morin just calls her such a special kid. It took her a few weeks to get acclimated to this program at Indiana, stepping up to the Big Ten level of play. But an interesting story, when Indiana was 0-10 in Big Ten play and things weren't looking so great, usually you might see coaches check in on players, but Kiyaku asked to meet with Terry Morin to check on how Terry was doing emotionally during that period of time. Just a leadership for the guard.
Yeah, and it's a tough stretch, especially for Indiana, when you've won 20 games or so year after year and you have the rough stretch that you do. When you have that veteran leadership, and she stepped up of recent. We saw a lot of Phoenix Stoughton at the beginning of the year. Kiyaku's been that calming presence, not only with the team, but apparently with Coach Morin as well, to make sure she's doing all right during this up and down season.
I'll tell you, Kiyaku is a blast to watch as well. She is so fast up and down the floor, it's just a blur. (40-12). Yes, you're reading that right. Indiana over Penn State here in the second quarter. Both teams with a chance to make the Big Ten tournament with a win in this game. The loser will have to do some scoreboard watching. Santana a 3. And Noyan will corral the board for Indiana. Beaumont backing down Murray in the paint. Just too strong.
It's a great route from Beaumont. Used that little jab step to send Merkel back to Noyan. Freed herself up for a little bit more space to knock down the 8-foot jumper.
Santana driving on Makaleski. Wraparound pass and the kick to Murray. Third 3 for Mariah Murray, and she has 9 of Penn State's 15.
She's been the bright spot, and Coach Keeger talked about how she gets mad when Murray doesn't start taking those shots, and you can see why. One of the best knockdown shooters in the country.
Third in the Big Ten with 72 three-pointers made coming into this game. And Kiyaku turns it over on the travel.
A little too ahead of herself, trying to tack in the rim, ends up pulling that pivot foot off the ground, returning it back while trying to make a drive. Indiana's been really impressive on the defensive end, showing 2 bodies at Merkel, but having that backside help to cut off some of those entry passes. They've been really impressive on the defensive end to start this one.
If you're Penn State, your superstar in Kiyomi McMiller's 0 of 6 from the field, just came off the bench for a little stint of rest. How much do you try and force her to get going early?
It depends on If Caffey's going to keep guarding her like this, I'm not sure how much you can force her. McMiller's going to try to get her own shots as she does there. It's just been a rough start for her, and she's going to keep trying to put them up. That's why she's a volume scorer.
Murray misses the 3 ball. It's out of bounds, and it will stay with Penn State.
You can see time and time again down the floor, McMiller is trying to get space, trying to get an open look, and it's just not there. And when you're a high scorer like McMiller, you start forcing some of those shots because normally all you need to see is 1 or 2 of those go down before a whole bunch of them start going down.
McMiller will inbound. And there's an offensive foul away from the ball. It's on Amaya Evans. Illegal screen.
And that can all be credited to Beaumont, trying to go over the screen. They were looking to find it to Merkel. Beaumont going over the screen forced Evans to try to widen up a little bit because Noyan was there to help. A tremendous play by the Indiana junior.
Nevaeh Caffey with the ball, 9 points, 4 of 8 shooting, and she's locked down one of the best scorers in the country as Chesky gets back going, and she's in double figures now. That's her 13th point of this first half. Merkel to Evans on the cut. And Chesky just slaps it away from Merkel, saves it in bounds. And it was poked away from behind by Kiyaku. McMiller lost it, and that's a foul on Journey Kiyaku. Regardless of the foul, we have a timeout on the floor, and Terry Warren is clapping with a smile on her face. The effort is there for Indiana defensively here on Big Ten Plus.